What's good, everybody? I'm the one-legged raven, and today I just wanted to touch a little bit on communications locally and globally for preppers. This is nothing new to the prepper game. Everybody wants to have two-way radios for close quarters, half a mile to a mile, your immediate surroundings. You want to be able to talk to your neighbors, or if you have a compound, like you have a property that you are patrolling and you have people on the outskirts, you want to be able to talk to those people to get the sit rep or situation report on what's going on the outer skirts of your property line. So two-way radios are good for that. CB radios you can have in your vehicle, or you can have as a base station. They even make them handheld, so you can have a handheld ham radio, or you can make a base radio portable with a battery power and grounded antenna on a military backpack frame. Lots of DIYs out there for great radio solutions, but handheld, vehicle, base station, that's pretty much what you want to look at for communications. Handheld radios, very inexpensive, under $100 for, actually you could probably get all three. You can get two-way radios, a CB radio, and a ham radio, like a Baofeng small Chinese handheld ham radio, for under $100 probably, and get some spare batteries too. But the main thing is communication. If you can't talk to anybody out there, you don't know what's coming. You can't coordinate your plans. You can't get news or weather. These are all important things that matter when your only form of communication is that device in your hand. You need to consider each style of radio for what it affords you. Two ways for close communications with your neighbors and your own folks that are in your circle of security. CB radios for some have built-in weather stations that talk directly to the NOAA weather channel. There are handhelds that can plug directly into your car, so you can have it in your car, and then when you hop out of your car, you can take your radio with you. I am an amputee. I have one leg, so I won't be doing much hopping in and out of the vehicle and taking stuff with me, or packing anything of substantial weight anymore. So my prepper plans have changed with my medical condition, something that I've had a hard time adapting. But one thing that's a constant: radio. You gotta have a good radio. And of course, ham radio, you want a base station for, and a good antenna for long-range communications. And in an emergency situation, you do not have to have a license to broadcast on a ham radio. And in a SHTF situation, that qualifies. That's an emergency. However, you should familiarize yourself with the proper channels and not transmit on just any old channel. You want to find a channel that's not being used for emergency services, because that's the whole point of surviving, is that you can get help. You can help other people. And I know I've spoken about predatory prepping before. That's a phrase that that I think I came up with. I'm using it for you don't have any other asset except for your own ruthlessness and your weaponry, and that's taking other people's stuff. So point being, the entire point of survival is to make it, to survive the catastrophe that has forced you to these measures, and hopefully rebuild and help your community rebuild and make it stronger than it was before, and more able to fight other unforeseen circumstances by being more prepared, having more stores, having more knowledge, and maybe some early warning systems for hurricane, tornado, I don't know, wherever you're at in the world. Pay attention to communication, weather, and even political climate. Political climate can cause a lot of unforeseen circumstances that can cut you off from services that you were otherwise relying on, and may throw you into SHTF. Here in South Texas, we had a little bit of a SHTF with the ice storm coming through and freezing Texas, South Texas, which gets if it's 60 degrees, we got jackets on. So very interesting development there. But we couldn't find food for a while. We would brave the roads with the ice and everything and get to a grocery store and the shelves would be bare. Just recently I went with a friend of mine to the grocery store, and she and I could not find cheese at all. No cheese. There were meats, so the meat truck made it through, but the cheese truck, the dairy truck, did not make it. So no eggs, no milk, no cheese. There were meats and vegetables, and they were telling people, hey, clean your own vegetables at home with your bottled water, because we were also under a water boil notice because of the pipes freezing and the contaminants possibly getting into the water. So better safe than sorry. The title of this video is probably going to be Prepper Soup because of all the sidetracks I do. I don't edit. What you get is what you get. So yeah, fuck you. So investing in a good radio is a smart choice for any prepper, and learning how to use it is a must, because if you have it and you don't know how to use it, then you don't have it. You know, if your neighbor has a really nice Jeep and it's got gas can, water can, four-wheel drive, CB, ham radio, antennas all out the wazoo, but it's stick and you can't drive a standard, you don't have a Jeep. So learn how to use your tools, learn how to use your equipment, get proficient at it. And if you can't, for ham radio, for example, I don't have a ham radio license. I have 2 ham radios. If you are transmitting on a ham radio without a license and it's not an emergency, you're breaking the law, and you will be found out and you will be fined and possibly jailed. There are very strict laws with transmitting on frequencies that you're not allowed to be on. So I can't practice transmitting on a ham radio until I have my license. So that's something that I'm going to have to augment my experience with radios. I'm on the ham radio like a fat kid on a cupcake. It's ridiculous. The CB radio. I love my CB radio in my truck. Talked to the truckers that come through San Antonio, and they were saying that the ice was bad. They were closing off exits on the streets, and hoping they could get to their destination and get their truckloads of food to people who needed it. But everyone's real positive on the radio there. You can get the weather report. You can figure out, oh, well, I've got a load full of bread from the local bakery, and I'm taking it to this Walmart on this street, and I'll be there at 8 o'clock tonight. And then you can go to that Walmart and expect some bread to be on the shelves. Just little insider information that your neighbor Bob doesn't know about. And you're not hurting anybody by knowing it, and you're all the better for it. The weather report. There's nobody that can check the weather but you with your radio. You're already ahead of the curve. You can help other people be more prepared for inclement weather coming in. Communications are key. Information and intelligence are 2 separate things that can be discerned by the person who is intercepting that information. It's what you do with it that defines it as intelligence. Portable radios for people who are bugging out. Inch bags, or I'm not coming home bags, bug out bags, 72-hour bag, whatever you want to call it. Definitely, if you're going to be in the city, definitely have yourself a radio. Definitely have yourself a way to talk to the outside world and get you some help. Well, if you're smelling what I'm stepping in, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me with this video, and we'll see you in the next one.